Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV, and today I'm going to be looking ahead towards our upcoming fixture this Boxing Day against Queen's Park Rangers. And the Boxing Day fixture is always a game that I look forward to. This time of year it's a really nice game to play in, and we've got a fantastic record in it, so I'd like to think that that carries on this season against an out of sorts Queen's Park Rangers side, especially away from home where they've actually failed to pick up an away point this season. And I do feel a little bit apprehensive going into this game. I mean, at some point QPR do have to end their appalling record away from home this season, and I'm just hoping it won't be against us. We do go into this game, however, on the back of a 2-2 draw at Anfield, which on paper doesn't look awful, but the performance that we put in that day was absolutely shocking. I'd like to think that we could take up at least another 2 gears in this game and hopefully put in a convincing display, especially as we go into some very, very difficult fixtures against the likes of Southampton and West Ham. You've got to remember those are teams that are both above us, so it's pivotal that we win both of those games, which is really not going to be easy to do against big sides really. I mean, this season they've been teams that have absolutely shone in the Premier League, West Ham especially, and even though Southampton have enjoyed some fairly torrid form this season, they had a convincing win over Everton, and they're going to go into that game against us with a lot of confidence and backing behind them. But focusing on the game against Queen's Park Rangers, away from home, like I said, they have been pretty woeful this season, but at Loftus Road they've been absolutely phenomenal, which why I kind of think it's fortunate that we're actually playing them at the Emirates this Boxing Day. The obvious standout player for them this season has been Charlie Austin. It's great to see an English player performing so well for them. Of course, he got a hat-trick against West Bromwich Albion the other weekend, and you know, he is an absolute standout player. I mean, last season in the Championship he caught everyone's eye. This season in the Premier League, after a bit of a slow start, he's really starting to perform, really starting to fill his boots, and I do wish him all the best. I do hope that he gets a good amount of goals this season. I really like seeing English players, especially strikers, do that well, and there's a lot of contention for that striking spot in the England team at the moment, but he's certainly going to cause problems against our shaky defence. I do believe we have a few players coming back from injury. It's a shame that Laurent Koscielny isn't back for this game. Per Mertesacker, you know, we all saw him cowering in that game against Liverpool. It is time for him to stand up and be counted in this game against QPR. It's not the best of fixtures for him to do it in, but I still want to see big things from him in this game. Mathieu Debuchy was probably our best centre-back against Liverpool, quite frankly, which really says a lot about the performance of Per Mertesacker in that game. Debuchy, I don't know if we'll utilise him again at centre-back. I do think that Chambers may be rested in this game. Bellerin might be brought in if he's back from injury, if he ever was injured, and then I assume we'll start with Kieran Gibbs at left-back. Flamini was shocking in the game against Liverpool. Of course, he's not the only one to blame, but he was bombing up the pitch at times that he shouldn't have been. He couldn't hold his position, and he didn't dictate the play in any way, shape or form whatsoever. I would like to think this would be a bit more of a comfortable game for him, but I do think that we need Mikel Arteta in that position. But Flamini, for the time being, has got to put in some big performances and just hold his position. That's what he's so bad at, going out of position. And, you know, everyone has to have a big performance, but I do think that we're going to rotate a lot throughout this game. I do think, considering, like I've already mentioned, we've got some big games coming up against the likes of West Ham and Southampton, I think we're going to rest our key squad players for them. I do think we might see Olivier Giroud rested, we might see Welbeck rested, we might see Sanchez rested, and it'll be interesting to see if we do bring in the likes of Joel Campbell, Thomas Rosicky, Lucas Podolski perhaps into the frame of things. I do think we've certainly got to rest Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain if he's not injured for this game, which I don't think he is. But like I said, we do have some players coming back from injury. I believe Sonogo's back in the team. He's certainly a player to start. But if we're not going into this game with our first choice 11, which, you know, we can't do anyway because we've got so many players out injured, it's I do actually really rate QPR this season. I do think they've got a lot of dangerous players within their side. I mean, I know a lot of them, their new signings especially, some of them really haven't performed. I mean, Corker has been pretty woeful for them. Rio Ferdinand at the back looks very shaky. I do think it's a case where we've got to outscore them because neither side has a particularly strong defence, but certainly you've got to say that we've got the much more physical and much more respectable attack going forward. So I certainly think that's where we've got to punish QPR in the defensive department. But you know, they've got big players like Leroy Fer in the middle of the park. He's certainly someone that could overrun Flamini. As we see in practically every game now, Flamini is getting overrun in midfield, and the midfield battle is certainly something that we're failing to win anymore, something that we're so renowned for doing well in. Our midfield has always been the most key element of our game, and we're not really performing in that area of the pitch. But I'd like to think that Queen's Park Rangers at home, it's a big game, Boxing Day fixture, and it's the only real Christmas present I want this year. So hopefully we'll get the win. Those will be my thoughts going into this game against Queen's Park Rangers on Boxing Day. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like, rate and subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV. Be sure to check out my own channel, AFC Game by Game. Have a very Merry Christmas, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.
Hi, I'm Maria. Merry Christmas to all the Arsenal fans. Come on, you Gunners! sir.